Welcome back. In this lesson, we're looking at supervised versus unsupervised versus reinforcement learning explained simply. AI/machine learning educational explainer. Now let's look at why machine learning has different types. Machine learning is not just one single method. Different problems need different learning approaches. Sometimes we teach the model using correct answers. Sometimes we ask the model to discover hidden patterns by itself. And sometimes we train it through rewards and penalties. These three ideas are called supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. In this video, we will understand all three in a simple way. Now let's look at roadmap of the video. First, we will understand what machine learning means. Then we will learn supervised learning with examples. Next, we will understand unsupervised learning. After that, we will explore reinforcement learning. Then we will compare all three side by side. Finally, we will see how to choose the right type for a real problem. Now let's look at what is machine learning. Machine learning means teaching computers to learn from data. Instead of writing every rule manually, we give the model examples. The model studies patterns in those examples. Then it uses those patterns to make predictions, discover groups, or take actions. For example, a model can learn from past house prices. Then it can predict the price of a new house. The type of learning depends on the kind of data and the goal. Now let's look at the three main types. Machine learning is commonly divided into three major types. The first is supervised learning. The second is unsupervised learning. The third is reinforcement learning. Supervised learning learns from labeled examples. Unsupervised learning finds hidden patterns in unlabeled data. Reinforcement learning learns by taking actions and receiving rewards. Now let's look at supervised learning explained. Supervised learning is like learning with a teacher. The model is trained using examples that already have correct answers. These correct answers are called labels. For example, we may show the model many emails labeled as spam or not spam. The model learns the pattern behind spam emails. Then it can classify a new email. This is one of the most commonly used types of machine learning. Now let's look at supervised learning examples. Supervised learning is used when we know what we want to predict. It can predict house prices from size, location, and number of rooms. It can classify emails as spam or not spam. It can predict whether a customer may leave a service. It can detect whether a medical scan looks normal or abnormal. In all these cases, the model learns from past examples with known answers. Then it applies that learning to new data. Now let's look at classification and regression. Supervised learning has two common task types. The first is classification. Classification predicts a category. Examples include spam or not spam, fraud or not fraud, pass or fail. The second is regression. Regression predicts a number. Examples include house price, temperature, sales amount, or delivery time. So classification predicts labels, while regression predicts values. Now let's look at unsupervised learning explained. Unsupervised learning is different. Here, the data does not have correct answers or labels. The model tries to find hidden patterns on its own. It may group similar data points together. It may detect unusual behavior. It may reduce complex data into simpler patterns. This is useful when we want to explore data and understand structure. Now let's look at unsupervised learning examples. Unsupervised learning is often used for customer segmentation. A company can group customers based on behavior, spending, or interests. It can also group documents by similar topics. It can detect unusual transactions that do not look normal. It can help organize large collections of images or products. The model is not told the answer in advance. It discovers useful patterns from the data. Now let's look at clustering made simple. A common unsupervised learning method is clustering. Clustering means grouping similar items together. Imagine a basket of mixed fruits. Without being told their names, you can group fruits by color, shape, and size. The model does something similar with data. It looks for similarity and creates groups. These groups are called clusters. Now let's look at reinforcement learning explained. Reinforcement learning is learning through action and feedback. The model is called an agent. The agent takes actions in an environment. Good actions receive rewards. Bad actions may receive penalties. Over time, the agent learns which actions lead to better results. This is similar to learning a game by trial and error. Now let's look at reinforcement learning examples. Reinforcement learning is used when decisions happen step by step. A game-playing AI can learn which moves lead to winning. A robot can learn how to move without falling. A delivery system can learn better routes. A trading system can learn actions based on market feedback. The model does not just predict one answer. It learns a strategy for better long-term outcomes. Now let's look at side-by-side comparison. Supervised learning learns from labeled data. It is used when we have examples with correct answers. Unsupervised learning learns from unlabeled data. It is used to find hidden groups, patterns, or anomalies. Reinforcement learning learns from rewards and penalties. It is used for decision-making problems over time. The right type depends on the data available and the goal of the task. Now let's look at how to choose the right type. Ask one simple question first: do you have correct answers in your data? If yes, supervised learning may be the right choice. If no, but you want to discover groups or patterns, use unsupervised learning. If the problem involves actions, feedback, and long-term rewards, use reinforcement learning. For example, predicting marks is supervised learning. Grouping students by learning style may be unsupervised learning. Training an AI to play a game is reinforcement learning. Now let's look at final recap. Let us recap the full idea. Supervised learning learns from labeled examples. Unsupervised learning finds patterns in unlabeled data. Reinforcement learning learns by taking actions and receiving rewards. Classification and regression are common supervised learning tasks. Clustering is a common unsupervised learning task. Reinforcement learning is useful for strategy and decision-making. If this helped, like, share, and subscribe for more simple AI and machine learning explanations. To wrap up, here is the key takeaway. You now have a structured overview of supervised versus unsupervised versus reinforcement learning explained simply. Review the core ideas, connect them to examples, and revisit concepts like why machine learning has different types. Roadmap of the video: what is machine learning? When practicing, if you can explain the idea in your own words, you have really understood it.